This story is about how a prominent company with a remarkable share value gets bankrupt within 24 hours. This has been the greatest, smartest, destructive, and the most complex scandal the world has ever experienced by any corporation. A story that not only destroys the economy but also the life of masses. This is the story of Enron scandal. The story starts in 1985 when two giants, Houston Natural Gas and Internorth, merged together. The company was initially named Enron, which was later changed to Enron. Kenneth Lay, or Ken Lay in short, acted as a CEO of this company. His father was a priest and his family was financially poor. Therefore, as a child, he always wanted to make money. And that void inside him resulted the later Enron scandal. You will know how. Enron was started as an energy supplier mainly dealing in natural gas. The sector of energy supply was regulated by government, hence the scope of making money was very limited. Ken became anxious and started looking for the alternatives. And there he found energy online trading. Just like shares and other securities, Ken introduced trading for energy. It means energy like crude oil and natural gas were more or less equivalent to the shares and other securities in terms of trading. And the best part was, this energy trading was not controlled by government but by market forces. Hence, the scope of money was wider. In 1997, two traders at Enron were found shifting money to fake accounts. They used to manipulate the earnings and gamble trades which used to affect the whole online trading market, in return making money for the Enron. When Ken Lay got to know about this, instead of taking strict actions, he appreciated the traders and asked to make more money. After some time, when the traders were exposed and got arrested, Ken stated that he was not aware about this scandal, otherwise he would have taken action. Now enters another major player in the game, Jeffrey Skilling. In order to continue money making, Ken hired Jeff. He was aware about his intelligence and therefore offered him absolute freedom in order to come up with a way of money making. Jeff introduced M2M, that is mark to market accounting, for Enron. Actually, this accounting allows to record profits ignoring the fact that they have actually received or not. For example, if company made a deal of $10 lakhs, it can record the amount today itself, ignoring the fact that the 10 lakhs or the full payment is gonna receive in the next 2 years. So that's how this company was manipulating the books of accounts. The CFO of the company was Andy Festo. Where the idea of M2M came from Jeff, Andy actually used to manage and manipulate the books using SPE, that is special purpose entities. These were the fake entities which were used in order to hide large amount of debt and other toxic assets from investors and creditors. In fact, Enron used to buy its own shares by creating some fake bodies. All of this resulted in increase in stock prices and Enron soon became the darling of Wall Street. By this time, Jeff became the CEO, Ken remained as chairman and Andy was still acting as its CFO. One important thing you gotta remember is that only these top players were aware about these malpractices and the employees were unknown with the fact. The person that protected Enron was Arthur Andersen. He had an accounting firm, Arthur Andersen LLP, that was among the top 5 accounting firms of the country. He allowed Enron to continue with the malpractices by simply accepting $1 million weekly payment. The beautiful but imaginary picture of Enron was flourishing and its stock prices were going crazy. Every single investor on the planet used to invest in Enron. The guy that was skeptic about Enron's growth was John Olson. He was an analyst at another company. When Enron players got to know about John, they simply made him lost his job and wiped him off from their way. Now Enron started diversifying and expanding its business. It invested in countries like India, Philippines and Indonesia for electric plant. But they only had huge losses because the population in these countries were very poor. Other businesses like broadband services were also unsuccessful. Despite getting losses, Enron kept showing profits in the books. And sooner, in 2001, Fortune magazine mentioned Enron at the top of the list, top 100 companies to work for. A reporter reached out to Jeff and asked how exactly Enron makes money. Jeff at that time somehow tackled the reporter, but later sent Andy to meet the reporter. Andy said to the reporter that he don't care whatever he writes about Enron until it's something that makes them look bad. And once again, nothing came out. In order to recover losses, Enron merged with Pacific Gas and Electric Company in order to get California's electricity. Now there also the company traders used to manipulate the company. They used to cut the electricity and bring it back only when the demand was high. The president at that time was George Bush, a good friend of Ken, and hence nobody could stop this. One day, Jeff saw something very dreadful with respect to Enron numbers. So much so that on 14th August 2001, he resigned from CEO post by claiming some personal issues as the reason, and Ken again took charge as the CEO. Gradually, the company started showing cracks. Sharon Watkins, who used to work under Andy, reported Ken with something fishy going on in the company. This time, Ken couldn't do anything to keep secrets, and on October 16, 2001, Enron reported its first ever loss. Everyone from employers, investors, and other stakeholders were just shocked. The stock price fell from $90 to $39. Ken didn't allow his employees to secure themselves by selling Enron shares, although he and other top players secured themselves by selling all the investment they had put it on Enron. On 31st October 2001, Security and Exchange Commission started investigation at Enron. All the SPEs developed by Andy were being analyzed, and investigation with Jeff, Ken, and other top players was also started. Finally, on 31st December 2001, Enron filed bankruptcy with the stock price at $0.26. And the irony is that the company was still mentioned at the 5th spot in the list of top 100 companies to work for. On the day Enron filed bankruptcy, 29,000 employees lost their jobs. Arthur Andersen, the largest accounting firm, got collapsed. Andy was convicted of fraud. Ken Lay was sentenced to 45 years of prison, but before that he died of heart attack. Jeff Skilling was sentenced to 24 years of prison and $180 million of fine. In July 2002, Sarbanes-Oxley Act was signed by George Bush that deals around defrauding and manipulating the financial statements, and Financial Accounting Standard Board raised all the benchmarks for ethical code of conduct. So this was the story of Enron scandal. In this particular video, only the major highlights about Enron scandal have been mentioned. To get deeper knowledge about Enron scandal, you can read this book, The Smartest Guys in the Room. The link is available in description. Go and check out that. Also, the link to the blog about Enron scandal have been mentioned in the description. If you want, check that out as well. Now, one interesting thing about Enron is that Jeff Skilling is out of prison now, and it has been noticed that he has started another business in the energy sector itself. So some people say that it could be Enron 2.0. So that was just an update from my side because I found it very interesting. At last, if you have watched this video till now, leave your feedback in the comments and share this video with all your friends so that they can also know about this world's biggest scandal. And thanks for watching this video. We'll meet in the next video. Namaste.